Do you ever have one of those ideas? A stupid idea. So stupid, you put it to the back of your mind and try to forget all about it. The problem is, those ideas start to itch after a while. Sometimes you got to scratch that itch. 10 miles in, and I'm only now filming the intro. Why is that? 10 miles of road. Very boring road. Flat at first, and then climbing, and then really climbing. Just relentless. Carries on at this gradient for so long. Nobody wanted to see that. So you're probably wondering, what was this idea? Why was it so stupid? Back in the first COVID lockdown, although you'd never have guessed it, I was getting a little bit bored of just riding around Chester. So I thought maybe I could ride out to somewhere with half decent trails. And one of those ideas was to ride out towards Llandegla. I never did it, obviously, but the thought's always been there about it ever since. And one of the reasons I never did it is because the first bit is a lot of miles with nothing of interest from a riding perspective, with some big bloody climbs. So why now? Why today? When you can drive places to ride? A few reasons really, none of which makes sense. At least not at the moment. Picked a proper day for it, didn't I? It's hot. And everybody might think, oh yeah, summer, when it's warm, best time to do stuff like this. Is it? 3.5 miles since the last stop at the top of the hill over there. That's been quite a hard 3.5 miles. One of the reasons is that I never did it. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think I'll be doing the full thing I was going to do today because I'm not as fit as I once was. So, riding there, doing something and then riding back is probably way beyond me at the moment. But I do occasionally look out from my house, near my house, and I can see the mass above Degla in the distance, and I do think, I wonder what it will be like to ride there. Painful probably, especially when you add another hill for no reason to the mix like I did. So today I just thought, you know what, I've got no other plans, nobody else is about, so I'll do it. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think anybody else would be stupid enough to do this with me. This is a lovely little trail. This is one I did have in mind to add into it. When I first planned it, I didn't know about it, but I do now. Yep, another stretch of road, although this is the last road, or big road, I'm really going to be on today for quite a while. So as you can see, I made it to Degla, to the visitor centre. 19 miles. It was hard work getting here. My original plan back then was to ride out, do some trails, not the trail centre as such because it was closed, but use a bit of it and then go out further and then ride back. But to be honest, not going to do that for two reasons. The return journey will be just as unrewarding as the journey out. Plus, I was a hell of a lot fitter back then at the start of 2020. Didn't last. So my plan for today is just to go as far as I can, and then when I tire too much, drop off the hills and get a train home. Plan so far is to go as far as Ruabon, get a train from there. Might not make it that far. We'll see though. 22 miles in now, and I can report that my legs are, yeah, feeling it. Still, up there is the highest point of the ride. Hopefully we'll make it to there. without my legs just bursting. I made it to the masts. Worth it. Look at the view. Every which way you look is just stunning. Till you look at me. And somewhere over behind that mast in the distance is Chester. As the crow flies, who knows? The daft route I took over all those hills, 23 miles. Don't know how much climbing I've done. I try to think. It'll probably be less than I imagine. So the second reason I fancied giving this a go today, scratching that itch, is a fitness thing. As I mentioned, back in 2020, at the start of it, I was pretty fit. 2019, I went a bit crackers, got obsessed with Strava, ended up doing 5,000 miles and 300,000 foot of climbing. And then COVID came along and all that went to pot. A lot of the rides I've done have been sort of short but high intensity ones, you know, riding up a fire road and bombing back down. I've done very few longer rides, but I don't just mean cross-country type ones, but rides where you're putting the miles in, I suppose, where you're actually going somewhere. It sounds daft, but you know, a lot of times it's up and down the same hill all day, isn't it? Of course, one big ride is not going to get me fit again, is it? I don't really know what you class this ride as. Oh, Jesus, that trench looks horrible. I mean, it's not really even what you call cross-country, is it? Because I just bobbed out, done a lot of road miles, done some hefty bloody climbs, and then finally get to the good stuff and end up a long way from home. What is that? Last time I did it, Jesus, big out and end up somewhere else ride was coast to coast, God knows how many years ago. The rest stops are getting more frequent, I can tell you that. Last one, up there. No, the thing I want to build up is stamina and endurance, really, because that's what I am lacking massively. I'm getting way too tired on longer rides, and I don't want to be like that, because you end up getting to a point where you don't enjoy them. I mean, now I am pretty tired. I am really trundling because, you know, I just ache and I'm not concentrating anymore. Not too great, really, saying I'm going into the escarpment, but there you go. So back in 2019, I used to do a lot of long rides and try and do as much climbing as I could, and got to the point where I really enjoyed them. I've come back and I've been knackered, but the big advantage of doing big rides very often is you build up that fitness and stamina and everything else, and it benefits everything. Not only can you climb easier and recover easier, but you can go for longer as well. But the main advantage is with going downhill. A great example is my mate Johnny Boy. Now Johnny Boy was always a bit quicker than the rest of us going downhill, but when it came to downhill racing, he would absolutely wipe the floor with us, especially on long tracks. Now Johnny was fit as a fiddle, but the rest of us weren't. And that really paid off because he wasn't getting tired by the bottom half of the track. I mean, he would have beaten us anyway, just for clarity's sake, but not probably by the margins he actually did. Probably. Will today help my fitness? Probably not, because it's a one-off. I'd like to do this more often, but I know it's not going to happen. Maybe a little bit. What I do know is starting that descent 27 miles in, that's one of the slowest I've ever been down there, because I'm just exhausted. Oh, still loved it though. I mean, how could you not? By falling off the side, I suppose. As I was planning this ride this morning and thinking about it, part of me was thinking, what the hell are you thinking about? But then there was also this thing in the back of my head thinking, if you manage it, if you manage to get all the way to Ruabon Station, then there's going to be a real feeling of achievement in that. And there will be. And it's only a personal achievement. I mean, I don't know how many miles I've done. I'll check in a minute. It's not that many in the Great Run of things compared to other people. Rather bizarrely, I also wanted to see what a ride like this would do to me physically. How bad would my legs feel? How tired would I be the next day? Will I be able to ride the next day? Well, all that remains to be seen. At the moment, my legs are pretty blown out. They were worse, but I had a lovely sandwich on one of my many breaks, and it brought them back to life a little bit when it had got through to the system. As I scoot gently along the Clonoflan Canal, some of you might point out that doing a big ride like this with no real build-up isn't really a good thing to do, because it could have adverse effects on your body. You might be right, but curiosity got the better of me. The itch had to be scratched. And like a shining beacon, Ruabon Station is in front of me. And yes, I'm going the wrong way up a one way. I don't care. Well, I made it. 37 miles, 4,200 foot of climbing. I'm knackered. I am absolutely exhausted. Just hope I don't fall asleep on the train and end up in Holyhead. But how do I feel? Apart from my legs feeling like they've been smashed with a hammer, really good. I wasn't sure I'd make it, but here I am. I'm very happy about that. Obviously it wasn't the original stupid idea. That was to ride out, do the maths, ride back. And I've not done that. I've continued. The reason was I wanted to do the maths, and then I wanted to do Wales End because I bloody love it. Is it the same amount of effort? Probably, because the hill I did at the start, I wouldn't have done on that ride. Why did I do it today? I honestly don't know. It's tarmac up and tarmac down. But there we go, I did it. Next time, well, I need to recover first. So who knows when that'll be, or where. Bye-bye.